I'm Kevin Schrum from the Lebanon County Mental Health Intellectual Disabilities Early Intervention Program.
Holly Leahy, also from Lebanon County Mental Health Intellectual Disabilities Early Intervention Program.
Thank you. We're here today again to discuss our planning efforts for the Fairweather Lodge here in the city of Lebanon. We've spoken to you on several occasions about our planning efforts to make that program become a reality. At this point in the planning process, we would like to proceed with the purchase of a property so that we could, again, take it to the next level. We've looked at a number of properties over the last few months, and we have found one that we believe fits the bill in terms of the program we're trying to start. It would suit the needs of the people that would live there, and we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about that property and see where that takes us. The property that we would propose to purchase is located at 418 Cumberland Street. Coincidentally, I guess, the property was going to be used for a drug and alcohol program that Jim Dunmoyer was working with a provider to implement through the 5-county group's CABHC program. But the provider at that point ran into some legal issues, withdrew the project, and the property then was back on the market. So we had some familiarity with the property because of that, and then as we continued our efforts to look at other properties, we kept coming back to this one. So we think it would suit us well. It does need a little bit of work, but the funding is there for it. The funding for the purchase of the property and the renovations and modifications it would need are already in our program here, and the funds are coming from the reinvestment program of the 5-county group. At the end of the year, if there's funds left over in the Health Choices program, a small percentage can be kept for reinvestment, and this was one of the reinvestment projects for our county. So we have the funds for the purchase, we have the funds for the necessary renovations as we see them, and some modifications. So we think financially it'll work. We even have funds to furnish it for the individuals that will live there. And again, just to recap, a Fairweather Lodge is a program, I believe the model was started in 1963 by a Dr. Fairweather, and it recognizes the importance and the therapeutic value of living as a community together, and also recognizes the need for employment. So the original model calls for the group of individuals living there to start a business among themselves, but that's not required in terms of the current model, although some places do that. Some places have everyone has a job elsewhere, but they live together as a group. I had visited Fairweather Lodge in Perry County along with Holly and another staff member, and learned more about how it worked, and was very pleased with what I saw there. And the gentlemen that were living there were very enthusiastic about the program, and very happy to show off what they had to us. So Holly and Jocelyn from our office, they looked at 2 other programs, and were very pleased with what they saw there as well. When we talk about this, a number of people have asked me, is this a rooming house? And it is not a rooming house, it's not a boarding house. The residents there live together as a community, share meals together, create house rules, which they must all agree to and abide by. They get to choose who lives there with them. And it is designed not as a transitional program, but people can actually live there for life if they so choose. If someone does not follow the rules, then the group elects to have them evicted, so to speak, then they will meet to do and interview other applicants for the program. The program has a relationship with a provider that we would identify, and the provider does not live there full-time, but the provider is there a number of times a week to sort of assist them and guide them in the planning activities or to help them deal with any issues that come up, but does not live there regularly. The folks that live there must be functioning fairly well, we've seen success in other programs and think we can replicate that here. And this is part of a transitional plan for us because we do have a CRR program in Lebanon, and we're looking to transition away from that. We would close that eventually and solely have the Fairweather Lodge there, among other residential programs. But it is not a rooming house where everybody just has a room and goes their own way. This is a community program.
Facilities that you visited, were they engaged in an enterprise of some kind?
The one I visited, they did not have an on-site enterprise. One of the individuals, he was kind of like an Uber driver. He wasn't, he didn't connect with them, but his work was transporting folks. And I think he actually had some long runs of people into Harrisburg and so on. Another member, if I remember correctly, he actually worked in IT for the Commonwealth. To answer your question, the one I saw did not have an enterprise
Have we
building.
visited any, because that was kind of intriguing to me when
Exactly.
you presented that. What was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? You were
I don't
talk
know.
about this before?
We've talked about it on several occasions. I don't know if any of the two other ones that you saw that I did not had a building business.
The one was transportation business, so it wasn't in the home, but certainly all the individuals within that home drove for the business, and they were very successful at it. They had multiple contracts. It started out as a very small, one little small contract, and then it grew. So it's very self-sustainable through the business. And what I'm reading is that many other locations, the Fairweather Lodges, have been self-sustainable through their businesses. So they've really put back into the home, and it becomes much like our families. We take care of one another, and it is self-sustainable. So it's really exciting to think about what we could potentially do. There have been many different businesses that they've gone into. Some have been custodial, some have been, they could do some baking, or the transportation was one. They're very unique because it is a business that will be built based upon the strengths and skill sets of the individuals who go into the home. So it's hard to say what might potentially happen here in Lebanon County because we haven't identified the individuals who will reside in the home yet. So it's going to be fun to watch and go through the process with them.
We're anticipating in this home there will be 5 or 6. We're trying to configure the floor plan. We would like to have 6.
Would it be the same gender? Is it have rules
Yes.
like that?
Mostly to either male or female. We have not identified as yet what it will be for Lebanon County, but most likely
Mhm.
will be just one or the other.
That'd be
I'll make
good.
a motion to allow Kevin to go ahead with signing a contract for a Fairweather Lodge in Lebanon County.
I'll second it.
And the property will be all subject to all the zoning and
Conditions.
The agreement of sale does have contingencies included, including zoning, and we do want a building report from a home inspector, certified home inspector, to assure that structurally it is sound and the systems are reasonably in decent shape.
If you want to include it in that same motion, that's okay. We can word it that way, just so that it's clear that he has the ability to sign these things. And secondly, I think we talked about this one of the times we met, but this property being owned by the county would typically come off the tax rolls taxable, but I think in some instances the provider makes payment in lieu of taxes. Is that something you intend to pursue and see if they can?
When we identify a provider, we want that to be part of the budgetary process.
Okay, that was my question.
Thank you. And John?
Yeah, I don't know if you're at liberty to say yet, you talked about having the money. Can you tell us what this will cost to set up?
We don't know all that it'll cost to set up. The price on the agreement of sale is $129,900. And we did a very, very quick estimate of repairs and modifications, which estimate to be about 75,000.
And that's contents as well, appliances, things like that that you included. correct?
Yes, we did, yeah, upgrading the appliances, which were very old.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So ordered.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.